Hi, and welcome to Australian Gamers Friday Night Podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Yug.
Today we'll be talking about about the PlayStation.
That was rather enthusiastic.
I was a little enthusiastic. About the PlayStation 3 delayed for Oz.
Mostly be talking about that,
Yes,
but we'll
yes,
also
yes.
touch on Assassin's Creed coming out on the 360 and PC now. It's been announced.
Some PSP peripherals coming out in Japan and here eventually.
And SimCity for the DS, because, you know, you need really, really addictive games on portable systems.
Yes, you do.
I know,
Why? I don't really
no,
quite understand where you're going with that. Good games are good.
I was going somewhere with that would sound funny and relevant and be topical, but I lost it.
Boy, that's atypical.
Well, you know, why don't they release The Sims on the DS? Because that would be perfect. Did they?
It was one of the launch games.
Ah, was it any good?
No, it was the Herbs. You know the
Herbs?
urban. It
As in
was.
what?
Was the Sims
Herbs or herbs?
Herbs as in URBS?
Oh,
Z, sorry.
Not as in like the American way of saying
no,
herbs.
not as in herbs.
Let's
missing
smoke
the,
some herbs.
Missing the
Oh,
effing H as.
okay, right.
Like it is a. We say herbs. No, you say herbs and we say herbs because there's an H in it.
That's the one.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's.
SimCity on the DS. Since we started talking about that, let's continue talking about it briefly. There's not much more to talk about,
Not really.
except that it's basically SimCity 3000. Now, I lost touch with the SimCity franchise at about the 2000s because it got a bit too hard for me, and I'm of a simple brain.
I never played the original SimCity.
I played the original to an unreasonable degree.
Top 50, yeah.
It's just such a good game, but it was mostly a good game because it was simple, and each one got more and more complicated. It was one of those things that sort of...
See, I actually played SimCity 2000 to an unreasonable degree.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I loved it at the time. It was one of the only games I could actually play on my computer at the time, and I was addicted. Although it just used to frustrate me. I could never actually quite get the perfect balance in my city. I think that was the point. You could never actually get the perfect balance in your city because there's always stuff that happen or things that go wrong. Anyway.
See, one thing I always found really interesting about the SimCity games was that there was a short-lived driving game where you actually drove around the streets of your city that you built.
Sim or whatever it was, yeah. So you built your SimCity 2000 city, then you could actually drive around it. But apparently it was a pretty average game. So
yeah, but the concept of being able to drive around in a city that you built, that's kind of cool.
But,
and I think there was a flight simulator one as well where you could fly helicopters around your city.
I love the concept, but I did actually get a copy of. I bought SimCity 3000 with the intention of it's SimCity, it's great, but man, I was just really bored. I don't know, there was something about it that just didn't and then there was SimCity 4 which apparently was great, but by that time I just realised that I don't have enough time.
No, not for something like that.
No, I was going through a World of Warcraft stage at that stage
yeah,
too,
that's true. The SimCity should be the sort of game that's pretty well suited to something like the DS though.
Do you reckon?
Portable, because it's portable and you can spend a lot of time playing it, but you can just stop at any point. You don't have to play a certain amount.
I would be concerned about how much they can actually display on the screen at any one time. I mean, the good thing with the big computer monitor, you get a good sense of scope.
And you do have a reasonable resolution.
Yeah, whereas the DS isn't exactly well known for its fantastic resolution.
No, but it does have two screens, so maybe by moving all the interface onto one, particularly onto the bottom one, they can dedicate the whole one to...
That's exactly what I was
thinking. We'll see how it works.
Yeah, we'll see how it works. It sounds interesting.
Basically, I just think the SimCity games are cool. And
even though you haven't played one since 2000?
Since the original. I played a little bit of 2000, but even then, not much. But I just love them because they remind me of my misspent youth. Which was misspent playing computer games, which is really boring. I should have been blowing stuff up with homemade bombs every other kid.
I'd say it's actually done you well considering you now... we're doing a video game website. It's not that misspent when you think about it.
Oh, yeah, it's been a really good opportunity to make absolutely no money doing something I love. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
All right, come on, let's get on to the real
issue that we have to talk about.
Which is, of course, the Xbox 360 being delayed until March next... Oh, no, the PS3. Oh, right.
Yeah,
so I was just
getting
confused.
It's deja vu, isn't it? It's like deja vu again. So the real news that we have to talk about now, sorry. PlayStation 3 delayed. Who's surprised? Put your hand up if you're surprised. I actually am not at all surprised.
Out of all the people we've talked to and know, do you know many PlayStation 3 fanboys at the moment? or PlayStation, like people were going, yeah, I can't
No,
wait
no
to
one.
get my hands on a PlayStation 3.
I don't. No one at work is really a big gamer,
Right.
and so I haven't heard anyone say, yeah, PlayStation 3, yeah. But I haven't heard anyone say, yeah, I love my Xbox 360.
No, but I've heard heaps of people going. Actually, I have absolutely people. Actually, no one's going, oh, I love my 360. They're going, I love these games that are coming out on the 360 now. Especially, just recently you got Saints Row and Dead Rising, 2 games which are actually interest me sort of thing. I haven't actually been interested in any 360 games for a while, and I'm like, no time. And everyone's like, the Nintendo, it's like, yes, absolutely, everyone's excited about that. But the PlayStation 3 being launched, all I'm hearing is,
it's expensive.
It was kind of expected, and like everyone's sort of like, that just means we'll get to save our money for another couple of months.
It's like hearing that flying cars have been delayed by a year. I don't think they were coming anyway, and I couldn't afford one even if they did.
But okay, that's an interesting analogy.
I know, I made that up on the spot. Can you tell?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But I mean, I don't know, and this sort of coincides with the other thing that we just want to briefly mention. We might be a bit late to the party on this one, but Assassin's Creed, probably without a doubt, and amazingly enough, the most impressive game that I actually was announced at E3 for me was Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Even though there was actually no footage, no in-game footage or anything like that, hardly any information. And it was PlayStation 3 exclusive at that point, and I was like, well, that's sold it for me.
Well, we have to get a PlayStation 3.
Now it's coming out on not just the 360, which was fairly speculated anyway, and the PC.
Yeah. Now, the PC doesn't appeal to me that much, because I'm over PC gaming. My PC will probably only play World of Warcraft. The reason is I tried to play a game...
How could you say that?
Because I tried to play a game recently, and it's just nothing works. I can't get games to work on my computer anymore.
Really?
The video card is just not good enough. I tried to
play... Your video card is about as good as mine.
I tried to play the demo of Hitman Blood Money, and I couldn't get more than about 2 frames a second. It was unplayable. I couldn't do it. I just gave up.
That's strange.
So
I didn't think your computer was that much worse than mine.
Well, it's a little bit, and I think it's a significant little bit, but regardless, I'm just not that interested in spending, $500, $600 to get a better video card.
No, spend $1,000 on a...
Well, I could spend $500 and get an Xbox 360.
Or $420 on a Nintendo Wii.
$420?
I don't know, I was just pulling that one out. Actually, I did see a report a while ago, they were saying that the launch, that some Nintendo guy actually said how much it's going to cost in Europe.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It's like, that's cool. That gives us an indication, a ballpark figure. But we already kind of had an indication. Yeah. It's less than a 360, and it's going to, they're like, you're going to like the price. It's like, yeah. And besides, everything here in Australia ends up being more expensive anyway.
Not necessarily than Europe. Europe often gets screwed.
Really?
Yeah, they get the same sort of treatment that we do. It's the exchange rate plus a significant chunk.
What do you reckon the chances are that someone... What's the governing body that actually pulls companies up for false advertising?
What's false advertising? That'll be the...
saying that the PlayStation 3 is
FCC
a world...
in
the FCC.
In America.
They should go after Sony for saying that it's a worldwide release of the PlayStation 3.
Well, yes. But... Who? Which Sony?
Sony America? Sony Europe? I don't know.
It's an international company. You would have to prosecute each one individually. Secondly, what's worldwide really? Did anyone expect it to launch in Mogadishu at the same time?
Yeah, actually, because it was said that it was going to be launching in Australia. Look,
I agree. I think it's crap. But the only thing that to me is, I mean, I wouldn't have bought one anyway. Because I simply wouldn't have the money when it came out. I don't have the house to, put a second mortgage on to buy the thing.
I don't have the money either, but I probably would have bought it because it was shiny.
Yeah, you probably would have too.
Even though, just bear with me, none of the games actually interest me. I am not a Metal Gear Solid fanboy or anything like that, right? So that wipes a big game off the launch of this sort of thing. And from all the other games I was looking at, all the other titles that are actually launching with it. It's like none of them are just that impressive. I don't know.
No, I must admit, like I've looked at it and gone, wow, those graphics are shiny. That's some really nice texturing. But I haven't really looked at it and gone, I must have that. There are a few exceptions though. I think it's pretty inevitable that Devil May Cry 4 will probably rock.
I never played any of the Devil May Cry games.
Me neither, but I'm willing to give it a go. And I think it'll at the very least look good and be a good example.
Devil May Cry 99 Nights. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Whatever. Tekken, the next Tekken. I don't know actually.
No, you just lost. The next Tekken, there's not a lot.
Soul Calibur.
There's not a lot of good fighting games on the Xbox 360.
There's Fight Night.
There's Dead or Alive 4, which is alright, but I never was a big fan of the Dead or Alive series.
Bouncing boobies.
There is bouncing boobies. Don't get me wrong.
Rumble Roses.
Yeah, well.
Come on, man. That's a quality game. They have amazing moves.
But Final Fantasy, let's not forget Final Fantasy.
Well, is it exclusive to the PlayStation 3?
Probably will be.
Well, I mean, there's Final Fantasy is out on the.
It's being produced by SCE.
SCE? Sony
Computer Entertainment Europe.
Okay. Well, there's a good chance it will be.
It's a fairly good chance. Not developed by them, but.
Still, I mean, there's just there just doesn't seem to be quite that much oomph in.
No, I know what you mean. But we'll see, because very often it's not the big titles that end up being the surprise. The really impressive ones. It's actually ones that you wouldn't have otherwise noticed.
Yeah, but you know what? I just reckon you kind of need a Halo or something. Or I guess not. Actually, the 360 launched fairly well.
Did the 360 have a Halo?
It had Perfect Dark Zero.
Yeah, well. It didn't really have much. It didn't have a standout. It had some solid games.
Do you realise that gives the 360 like a year's advantage over PlayStation 3?
Yeah, in Europe and Australia. In Australia and Europe. Don't forget, this is not just for Australia, this is for Europe as well. And that's a pretty big market for Sony to just go, you know what, not going to happen. There's pretty much...
So launches in Japan and the US.
Japan and the US.
Here's the other thing, is the amount of consoles that are actually...
Yeah, the half.
I think it's 100,000 in Japan and 400,000 in the US.
No, they've cut it down to 2 million.
No, it's like something a lot smaller. I could be wrong.
I was reading that like 4 seconds ago.
I might be wrong.
When that's before, like if that's for Christmas or before Christmas or within the year or before the end of the year or what, who knows?
Yeah. There's some, look. Also, I'd recommend anyone go to a website called thisiswaiting.com. There's been some fantastic pieces of
nice.
artwork that have come out of it. There's someone posted in our forums actually. It was really funny. And it's not going to be funny.
We're doing like a radio thing, but dude, you can't tell people about the funny comics that you saw that someone posted on a forum.
Yeah, I can. Hold on. Bear with me. You can hear the clicking.
He's clicking. Furiously clicking.
Here it is. Oh, it's Ben. That's right. Like... Actually, it's not going to be no good if we're just sitting here looking at these and laughing, is it?
No, that is kind of funny to just sit there and go, hey, look at that one. That one's great.
Hey, look, see it, Prince. That's good. I like that one. That one's
crap.
That
one's not bad.
Liar. That one's crap.
Liar. No, but dude, it doesn't have to be good. I'm just mocking our listeners.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were being sincere there for a second.
Our deepest there's one that's just got a kid poking his tongue. It says, our deepest condolences to Sony on their PS3 shipping difficulties from the Wii and the Xbox 360. It's funny. There was quite an amusing, not letter, but interview with someone from Microsoft where it was basically saying, haha, to Sony. Because, I mean, they were delayed in Australia, but they did manage to ship to Europe.
No, that was the one with the Xbox UK boss. That was Neil Thompson, actually.
Yeah, so he was basically saying, yeah, we know it's hard.
We understand.
But we took Europe seriously.
That's right. At least we took Europe seriously.
Yeah, I mean, he's made no mention of the fact that, it didn't take Australia seriously, but hey, no one did, no one cares, so...
Microsoft have every right to actually sort of lord it over, stick it into Sony at the moment.
They must have laughed when they heard that. They must have been so happy.
They would. What a shame. Poor little Sony.
They probably don't have that much sense of humour about it, you know. They're probably just someone came into a meeting and said, okay, how does this affect our forecast? Well, we can, you know, using current marketing trends over the Christmas. It's probably very dry. I want there to be someone going, yes, suck it, son.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Christmas is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, getting a console out before
yeah.
Christmas is like just massive sort of, even just creating that demand and the fact that people, well, even if there's console shortages, even just having it there so that people like are like expecting it or even thinking they could get a hold of it, sort of thing, or pre-ordered. Like, here's a present. Here's your pre-ordered PlayStation 3 or something like that.
That's the crappiest present. Here's a present you can't have.
Yeah, actually that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But look, on the plus side, by the time we get the PlayStation 3 over here, theoretically, I guess there'll already be a couple. You know, the games will have come out over in the States, and we'll get a good idea of what, you know, some of the good games are, and we'll probably have a few more games.
Yeah, there hopefully should be. Plus, it's also worth pointing out, if you're an importer, and I'm not, I'm afraid of importing stuff, but if you are an importer, the games are not region coded, so you can use your imported stuff to play the new games when they come out.
Would there be any issues, like, if you...
But Blu-ray movies are region coded.
Oh. I was
if
about to say that sucks. Now I kind of realise I don't really have any.
No.
But I might.
Damn my entire library of
eventually.
region coded.
You know something else I didn't think about? How much do you reckon Blu-ray movies are going to cost?
It'll be a fair bit. Remember, DVDs were quite expensive when they first came out. They were like $45, $50.
Yeah.
They've dropped a lot, but it's taken quite a long time for them to get cheap. Which is and also they got cheap largely because they're actually so much cheaper to produce and cheaper to ship than videos. But Blu-ray discs will be more expensive to produce and the same cost to ship.
I guess the other thing is, I mean, for me personally, the leap from VCR to DVD was huge.
It is.
It was noticeable.
Absolutely.
It was like, my God, that's amazing, right? Yep. Wow. I've not really seen anything that's making me go, wow, this is a massive leap, massive. I mean, I don't think I've seen it. I haven't seen any Blu-ray stuff.
The problem with Blu-ray, like you said, I was reading a really interesting article about this the other day that was talking about why Sony might have made a big mistake pinning their hopes on Blu-ray, and the basic conclusion is exactly what you said. You can look at a VCR, like a video cassette, and look at a DVD and go, wow, this is cooler, it's more efficient, it's smaller, it's neater, it's more reliable, it won't stretch, it won't go out, it looks noticeably better on my TV.
Yep.
It's better in every way. There is no way in which DVD is not superior to video cassette.
Yeah.
But that difference doesn't exist for Blu-ray, because most people, the only improvement of Blu-ray
is the picture and
the
the
storage. Is the space to store high-res, high-definition movies. That's the only thing. High definition. It's all about high definition.
I probably need to watch.
If you don't have high definition, and who does, and who will, even by later in the,
even when they actually switch all the networks off and say you have to have this high def box thing to watch this. No,
you'll never have to do that.
Yeah, well.
It won't be high definition.
Oh.
It'll be digital, but digital is not necessarily high definition.
Okay.
A lot of it is, but it doesn't have to be, because so much of the content that's been previously made is only made in standard definition.
Yeah.
So when they put a movie on, for example, it's not like all of a sudden there's a high definition version of, Jaws available to put on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, if the Blu-ray movies are they actually gonna look that great? I mean, my old copy of Die Hard, is that gonna look completely and utterly different on a Blu-ray as opposed to
Well, you're saying on Blu-ray. It's got nothing to do with Blu-ray. It's your TV that's the factor. A Blu-ray disc played onto a normal TV will look exactly like a DVD, to my understanding.
Okay, but
much like an Xbox 360.
Sure. Okay, fair call. What about high def TV though? Would an old movie on a Blu-ray disc look that much different?
It would depend, I think, on how well it was done, but I would say it would be noticeably better.
Okay.
I haven't seen a lot of comparison. I would love to see a side-by-side comparison of like an equivalent DVD and Blu-ray.
I think that is going to be one of the things. I mean,
high def.
when the PlayStation 3 does come out, you're going to be walking into stores and they're going to be, with their setups and showing them off. And I think that, for me, that's going to be when I sit down and go, wow, that's going to be... Or probably or the whole bunch of gaming expos that are coming up soon.
Yeah, when you start seeing these things pump through, like, good setups with, high definition plasma displays and LCD displays, you're going to look at them and go, that looks pretty good.
This is actually quite interesting because before this, I mean, you've got the two big expos that's coming up this year, which is Game 1 and E-Games, right? And I think, I didn't know for certain either way, but I was fairly sure that the PlayStation 3 would be making an appearance at both of those expos. And it still might, but it's like, it's of a lot more importance now that it's not coming out till March next year as opposed to like November this year. So...
Yeah, it's a bit, and it's also almost irrelevant, I think, now that it comes out.
Yeah.
The fact that they're going to show it, who cares? It's still going to be months away. But what was really interesting would have been that they were going to show it just a few days before it launched, or a couple of weeks before it launched, and now there's nothing to follow up with. So
yeah, that's true.
So we had a couple of other things to talk about, didn't we? We had one other thing to talk about, I thought.
Yeah, you want to talk about the PSP peripherals.
Yes, GPS module. Adding a GPS module to the PSP.
A GPS module?
Yeah, global positioning, whole tell where you are thing. How exactly that works, I have no idea. But I mean, I know how the overall technology works with triangulation from satellites and stuff, but how it will plug in and how it will interface and stuff, I'm not real sure.
It'd be cool if that interface, like you could have some sort of game.
Well, it actually is apparently hooking up with some software, some travel kind of software. Yeah. That was probably what we saw with people riding on trains that we were so enthusiastic about.
Yeah, I know travel software. That makes sense. It's you are here, check it out. But like,
certainly the concept of taking games offline.
Well, no. What about, like, do you remember that game that was out that came out on the net a while ago? It was like the conspiracy game, and it went on for ages, and it was like people had to try and crack the codes and solve the clues, and they actually got phone calls. They had to like drive cross country and then to a phone booth and pick it up, and it would actually ring. And
yeah, that's what I mean. Taking the games off away from the screen, away from the TV, and having games with people running around doing things, and having to go here and getting points for being in places at certain times.
That would be cool.
There would be a lot of
you know what? It'd be even cool if they had it with multiple people who are playing the game. It's you have to meet up with this person and then trade like something wirelessly on your PSP when you meet up.
Yeah.
They've got some information that you need, or this is the informer, or that'd be awesome.
There would be a lot of potential to do some really interesting things if Sony used it. What they're going to actually do with it and what they're going to use it for, or whether it's just going to be a little gimmick with maybe one or two supported titles. I'm fairly sure it'll be just a gimmick. And by that being said, that's a kind of useful gimmick. GPS systems are cool.
How often do you get lost?
All the time, but usually within, say, my front yard, that sort of area. Like
I was about to say, I mean, you do like knock on a few doors before you actually get to mine all the time. Yeah. You still don't know how to get here.
No, not really. But yeah, the other peripheral is a peripheral is a camera, 1.3 megapixel digital camera.
Yeah, everyone's doing it.
Yeah, everyone's doing it, but I don't have a digital camera. I do have a PSP, and I'm quite happy to add one on to my PSP for the bargain price of $60.
It's not too bad.
No, it's not
actually,
too bad.
1.3 megapixel camera.
Yeah, it's not great, but dude, I got nothing.
Yeah, you know what? Nothing's better than something sometimes.
No, you're wrong.
No, it is.
Something is always better than nothing.
No, you see, I got into this whole thing.
How is something better than nothing better than something?
Because it's $60 and it ain't free. I got into this whole thing with my phone, 1.3 whatever megapixel camera it is, and I'm like really excited. It's like massive. It's great. You know, the photos on it are still pretty bloody average sort of thing.
I want average photos. I'm happy to spend $60 to get some average photos.
You're an average kind of guy.
I am an average kind of guy, and I'm ready to embrace mediocrity for the bargain basement price of $59.95.
See this? This is who you're all voting for in the forums.
Yeah,
this
and continue voting.
Bastard.
The reason you should vote for me to be your president.
It's not. It's not president. It's just the.
It's a popularity
I
contest.
don't even know what it was. Just I couldn't think of,
spur
like,
of the
I was going
moment
to do
thing.
old Halo versus new Halo. I'm like, no, it's about time to do Matt versus Yug.
The reason that you should vote for me, there's two good reasons.
Right.
One is because the whole stupid vote was Yug's idea, and I think he should be punished for that. And the second reason, and I think this is the most important reason, is because he's actually said to me a couple of times, quite incredulously, people are actually voting for you.
I'm
and
serious.
like, it's actually close. It's actually pretty close. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's pretty close because
what?
And he's like, I'm like, did you just expect everyone would just vote for you and no one would like me? And he's like,
no. Listen, I actually thought there'd be a few sort of oracle votes where like they voted for you because they felt sorry for you because they knew that you wouldn't get that many votes. Maybe that's why you're doing so well. I just can't believe.
You think I've got the underdog vote?
I do. I cannot believe that you have actually gotten so many votes just because people actually like you more than me.
Oh. Okay, that's 3 reasons.
Oh, come on.
There's so many reasons to vote for me instead of you.
Okay, now listen. I'll give you one reason not to vote for Matt, okay? Go back a couple of podcasts and listen to the podcast where Matt was drunk.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Vote for me because of that.
Listen to it, and you won't vote for him because of that.
And no, you can't retract your votes if you've already voted for me. You're stuck with me.
Yeah. What other gaming stuff is there to talk about?
Nothing.
I
wanted to mention briefly that Bully has been renamed. Just to get him out of trouble a bit, they've called it Canis Canem Edit, which is Latin for dog eat dog. And apparently they think that if they call it something in Latin, people will think it's educational.
Well, absolutely. I mean, just look at Carpe Diem, it's... I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still the same game at heart, but obviously they want to move away a bit from the it's about bullying and about bullies thing, so they called it something fancy in Latin.
Because, the OFLC, they go, oh, it's not bully. No, this is something fancy in Latin.
This is Latin.
That's educational. Isn't that really silly for them to do that?
To change the name of a long-awaited game at this point. I think it's calculated. I think it's going to cost them a little bit in the sort of built-up thing.
I mean, in the same respect,
but I don't think it's going to make a difference.
It is Rockstar. We can't exactly fault them, sort of thing, I mean,
yeah, they are blameless in all respects.
Blameless, not blameless, as in like just if they do something crazy and stupid, it usually ends up being that worked out for you pretty well, didn't it?
I think that by the time that they really haven't done much publicity. They haven't done much publicity at all. Everything that's been out has been hype, and it's not their hype. So, the hype machine will just change the name.
That's pretty good, actually.
So I don't think it'll hurt them really.
Done a good job.
In the end. If it gets rid of some of the bad publicity, it might help. It might even help them.
Yeah, Steve Irwin died.
Yeah, Steve Irwin. Crikey.
Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah.
I was actually quite upset. Not upset, not teary or crying. I was just
Bet you were.
Oh, that's quite sad.
I feel bad for his kids. That's the main thing. I mean, he does have a wife and kids. And
he does.
That's sort of sucks, especially for his daughter Bindi, because he was actually filming for her TV show.
Yeah,
at the time.
I read that. Yeah,
and that's got to suck a bit.
I don't know. I mean, I know when he was around, as Australians. Actually, no. I was reading that he did an interview a while ago over in the States, and he was actually saying, I'm really passionate about all this kind of stuff, and he was talking about Australia, saying, it's kind of weird because actually in my home country in Australia, a lot of people actually, don't actually like me. They think I'm, really over the. Well, I can't remember his exact words.
A bit of an idiot.
A bit of an idiot sort of thing. A bit embarrassing. That's what he said. A bit of an embarrassment, and yeah, I kind of thought that quite a bit, but in the same respect, he was so embarrassing, but so genuine at the same time. He was.
I was going to say he was. His enthusiasm was always a bit much, but it was always obviously genuine.
Yeah,
he really felt that way. What I gained a lot of respect for actually was once I saw him on Rove, and he came on the same day as Jennifer Love Hewitt, and Jennifer Love Hewitt actually came out after him, and she was so excited because she got to hug the crocodile hunter, and she was really, really excited about that. And I thought, that really shows if Jennifer Love Hewitt is excited about hugging you, you've made it.
You've made it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of Jennifer Love Hewitt, but what the hell,
Sure.
I would.
You'd take Roseanne. I mean, you'd take any celebrity you could get.
Whatever. It's all about bragging to your mates later on.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just wanted to say that because this is Australian Gamer. We are gamers and Australian.
Yeah, and our last comic was in regards to...
You know what was funny is I was talking to James from PLGN on the phone on Sunday night, and I was actually saying, I'm actually working on the comic tonight. It's actually going to go up amazingly.
Yeah.
He's like, oh really? What's it on? I'm like, oh, Steve Irwin. He's like, yeah. I don't know about that.
Oh, there is something else that we should probably say.
What?
New host.
Oh yeah, we're moving host.
We're actually moving Australian Gamer to an Australian host, so we get faster speeds and so we get some better search engine results and a few other reasons.
It's something we've been meaning to do for a while, and it sort of, I don't know, it's another thing which kind of shows we're taking it a little bit more seriously because we have to pay more money for this. Actually.
Yeah, it's actually a more expensive host we're moving to. It really shouldn't make much difference to most people, but we're hoping that people will get better speeds.
It's going to be faster. Yeah.
Yeah, we should get better speeds from it, and we should get a bit more, a bit more stability and reliability and button pressiness and stuff.
Yeah.
It actually enables us to add a few new features as well because we've got slightly fancier technology on it.
Yes.
But I'm not promising anything. I just might get around to it eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully this podcast will be being served from an Australian host finally, and not an American host.
And right after this hosting changing, we're going to be spending our money to stop annoying popping sounds.
Yeah, we got a lot of popping sounds. You probably heard them.
Apologies for that. This setup tonight is dodgier than usual.
Uber dodgy.
Yes. But hey, everyone, thank you for tuning in again.
Hopefully there'll be more news to report, and we can keep the energy up next time. Because the only really big news this time we had was a bit of a downer.
That is big. Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
So,
I didn't think about that.
So, I mean, we want to be able to say, yay, the Wii is coming out in the end of September.
Let's see how we go next
week.
And
it will be $80.
All right.
That'll hopefully be next week's news announcement. But in actual fact, next week, the prices are being announced the day after we do the podcast.
Maybe we should actually do the podcast on Friday.
No, it's actually the day after Friday.
Oh.
It's coming.
You mean
it's being
Saturday?
announced. Yes. Well spotted. You actually have caught on to the way days progress.
Is that the day before Sunday, or it is?
Just before Sunday.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they've moved it now to before Sunday.
That explains
Between
so much.
Friday and Sunday.
I was so confused.
You've probably never seen a Saturday. Not during the day, anyway.
Not during the day.
After Friday night.
We're stopping this. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you, as always.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Don't vote for Matt.
Vote for me.
Vote for Matt.
Vote Matt. Remember, brains are